Madam Chairperson. Member of Parliament for Princestown, the Honourable Barry Shiva Pararat, Senator, the Honourable Saddam Hussein, my councillor colleague, Councillor Chris Hussein, Councillor Vashti Suku, Councillor for the Electoral District of Williamsville, Hadbargen, Bellarmine, residents of Tablan and environs, a pleasant good evening. When the principal offered me a classroom to have the meeting inside the school, I told her, I say a classroom will not be enough. She said, well, the way the classes are, it's difficult to remove blinds to get more classes. I said, no problem. We will use the shed on the outside, because I'll tell you something. Seeing this place full here this evening, I am not surprised, because I know the type of support I get in Tablan from 2003 to 2013, for 2013, every election that I contest, I know the support we had in this area. In fact, I'll tell you something. In 2013, when the ILP came on board, in every district, the ILP received a fair percentage of vote. Even in my electoral district, they received 730-something votes. But you know what? When the result came from the 2 polling division in Tablan, the ILP got 21 votes in this school, and they get 17 votes at the Tablan High School, which is 3525, which is Tablan Local Road. 17 votes and 27. The people of Tablan remain loyal to the United National Congress and Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. We have 100 chairs here this evening. There's 4 chairs empty in front, and we have about more than 25 persons. So we probably have here, at this time, approximately 130 persons. For a cottage meeting like this, this is extremely well in an electoral district of the Atlantic. I thought this evening I was going to give you all some of the, because although we in a opposition corporation, I still wanted to give an account to you all with the little funding we get in at the regional corporation, what we're doing with it. Because I'll tell you why. The PNM control the majority of corporation in this country, but you know what? Nothing is happening in those corporations. The little funding that we are getting in our corporation, it is properly well spent. I want to commend my office staff and Councillor Vashti, daughter, who assisted me with the slides with all the projects that was done from 2016 to 2019. So there's no need for I to mention the projects. As the slide go through, you'll be seeing the projects that was done not only in this district, but not only in this area, but in the electoral district of New Grant, Tablan. But I want to remind you all, that is for the entire district, because of the little funding we get in the regional corporation. And I know you all are aware of the projects that was done in this area, but I want to remind you this evening, some of the projects that was done while the UNC was in government, while the People's Partnership was in government under the leadership of Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. You all will remember, in this area, there was not a single road that belongs to the Princestown Regional Corporation was paved with asphalt. None. We had Myro 6th Avenue, we had Tablan First Branch, Tablan Second Branch, Maxween Road, Maxween Branch Road, Robert Village North. We had Kisoon Avenue, which is not even under the regional corporation. Through the URP program, I was able to get that paved. We get water in Noha Road from the junction to the school, but you know what? We get the line, it was with water. Since PNM take over, the Princestown Regional Corporation using truck-borne water to assist the people in Noha Road again, because no pipe-borne water. Line, but no water. And I believe it is pure victimization for the people of Tablan. You know why? They know for a fact, because I mentioned to you all, in 2013, this area, the people stood loyal to Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC, and that is why you all are being victimized. But rest assured, it's not too long from now, it might be sooner than later, our beloved Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa will return as the Prime Minister of this country, and we will have those good days from 2010 to 2015. My intention this evening was not to talk to you much, because we have someone like Senator Saddam Hussein, the Member of Parliament, and we have Senator Anita Haynes, who will be here. You all really want to hear about national issues, what taking place in the country. You all are accustomed hearing, seeing your councillor, and Councillor Chris mentioned about the work at the Princestown Regional Corporation. The minister himself said it, and I was surprised last week Thursday when all the UNC candidate who was chosen went to a training session with Dr. Suraj Rambachan, and he had mentioned that he is following the 14 regional corporations, and the corporation that is leading is the Princestown Regional Corporation. So it means that we are doing something right. I want to commend the councillors. I want to thank them for the support they have been given me. I've not seen most of them here this evening, but I'm sure probably they're in their district working. Most of them are already chosen as candidates, so probably that is the reason why they're already out in the field in their district. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you all, as I was in the past, I will commit myself, I will continue to commit myself to you all. In this area, I don't think that there is anyone who can say they don't know their councillor, they don't see their councillor, or they don't hear from their councillor. We have a system at the Princestown Regional Corporation through the Chairman Office that have never happened at this corporation before. And not only in my district, I want to commend Councillor Chris. Councillor Chris is doing it as in his district. My office staff, they have a database. Everyone come to my office with complaint. They have a database, and they follow back up with the different officers at the corporation. And I want to tell you, 80% of the requests that come to the chairman office, we was able to deal with it. You know why? Because I'll tell you, sometimes it's very simple complaint that people really don't know how to get about getting simple stuff. We was able to do 80% and fulfill 80% of that. The next 20% is where it needs funding. That is not what we getting at the regional corporation. As I mentioned at Councillor Chris' meeting on last week, Friday, in 2010, our political leader told us to go out and serve the people, serve the people. But what did she do to make sure that that happened? She gave us the resources to make sure we serve the people. She make it happen for us so we could have go and deliver. Presently, as I mentioned at that meeting, our allocation this year under this PNM government at the Princestown Regional Corporation is $83 million. $83 million is the allocation. That does not mean to say that we're getting $83 million to spend. We will have to wait to the end of the financial year to see what will be the releases. At this time, we still have over $30 million to get, and the end of the financial year is the 30th of September. In 2015, when the People's Partnership was in government, the allocation at the Princestown Regional Corporation under recurrent was $103 million. And you know what? $103 million, the minister himself will call to see if you're not spending your money, what do you intend to do with this? The releases, every single cent was coming to the corporation, so we had money to spend to deliver. Most of our projects right now, you know how we are doing those projects? Where the villagers are coming together, purchasing their material, and the corporation is doing the labor. That is how we are doing projects. We are doing self-help projects with the community, not with self-help. I don't even think self-help exists at this time. After the People's Partnership came out of office, not a single person in this Tableland area received a self-help grant. I'm sure no one could stand here and say they received a self-help grant. Not a single one. I'm sure that that money is going somewhere because they are preparing for a general election or a local election. Whether it is general or local, the electoral district of New Grand Tablan, and to extend the Princestown constituency, is ready. But I want to urge you all here this evening. New Grand Tablan is borderline with Hindustan St. Mary's. From the Pool Bridge, straight down to New Grand. That is also one of the strongest areas for we to win the Maruga Tablan constituency. I know most of you all here have family on that side. I urge you all to help us. Let us work together to ensure that we win the Maruga Tablan seat in the upcoming general election, because that is one of the guarantee we will have to ensure that Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa return as Prime Minister of this country. Let us put our differences aside, if there is any, to make sure, for the greater good, our young people of this country see a bright future. And as Mrs. Kamla Bisesa said, she wants young people to come forward. And we have been seeing that if you go for screening, every time you go for screening, you are seeing young people. Our two chairpersons for today, Jonathan Polaya, who has 2 degrees, as I understand this evening, and Ms. Christel, who is no stranger, a villager, 3 houses from here. She has her degree in education and a teacher right here at Robert Village Hindu School. These are the type of people who are coming forward to work with us, to give that support to the United National Congress. As I mentioned to the people of Tablan, time after time I walk. We in this area was in a paradise under the partnership under Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I never had calls through my office to distribute truck-borne water from the regional corporation. That had never happened during that 5 years. Now, every single day from Tablan, I have in my office approximately 25 names from the Tablan area. And I really want to commend the administration staff for giving us that support in the corporation to make sure it happened. But I'll tell you something. In 2010 to 2015, when I was in that council, at the regional corporation, we had 15 areas depending on truck-borne water from the regional corporation. Our allocation, when the People's Partnership was in government, was $1 million for truck-borne water. You know what is our allocation now? $300,000. And while that was our allocation at the last financial year, the financial year came and we didn't receive a single cent. This year allocation, we now paying the contractors from last financial year. But apart from $1 million on that truck-borne, you know what happened during that 5 years of the People's Partnership? From 15 areas that that the corporation was responsible for distributing truck-borne water, the People's Partnership government bring that from 15 to 6. And from 2015 to now, we still is at 6. Not a single area was reduced where WASA assisted in putting laying pipe-borne supply. Not a single one. And under the 5 years of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, we eliminated 7 areas. We have to continue that type of performance in this country. And the only way we can do it is if we stand together, we bond together, and work together. One of the greatest achievements for the villagers in Tablan here, and I see quite a few all from Kisoon Avenue. Kisoon Avenue is what we will call an orphan road. It doesn't belong to the regional corporation. But we have 50 homes in Kisoon Avenue, and every election these people come out and vote. When I became councillor the very first time, that was almost like a mud track. Through the regional corporation, I keep on assisting. When the People's Partnership government came, I was able to get it paved through the URP program, but there was no foundation, no proper drainage, anything. So it is starting to crumble again. When I became chairman of the Princestown Regional Corporation, I set up an orphan road and street naming committee. And what that was about, to put together some of these roads that is considered orphan roads, that was for years, that couldn't get the help of the regional corporation, for we to get it through the ministry. And I'm pleased to say today we have over 18 roads in the corporation through that committee is now 90% under the Princestown Regional Corporation, because we are already doing our DP projects on some of these roads. And one of that road is Kisoon Avenue. You all will have seen a box train started there yesterday morning. And that will continue. Because I know I don't really, while I will come back and walk house to house and ask you all to vote for me, I know what the result will be in this polling division already, you know. I know what the result will be. So it will continue for the next 3 years. As is your councillor, I can guarantee you most of the work in this area will be completed. I want to thank you all again for the support and look forward for we working together to ensure Mrs. Kamala Prasad Lisesa return to government in this country. Thank you very much.
Truly prosperous Trinidad and Tobago. But the first step in doing that is removing this hapless PNM administration. So as I said before, we are coming towards our budget. Budget will be read in October. They will pull every trick out of the book and throw it at the population. Every single trick. But they will never once tell you that they know how to govern, because they don't. So as we approach an election, don't think about it just as an election, and don't think about it just as the UNC versus PNM, but think about it as what kind of country do you want to live in? What kind of country do you hope your children will live in? And think about and listen very carefully to the policies and plans that are being proposed by each political party. And I guarantee you, only one will do that, the United National Congress. And listen to what our political leader has to say and our representatives have to say, and then make a very informed decision. But understand that what you would be voting for when you vote for the United National Congress is the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to thank you again for coming out here, because it means that you've already understood what your role in the system is, and you've already engaged. But when you leave here, talk to your neighbor, talk to your friends, and let them realize now is not the time for the sidelines. Now is not the time to say, you know what, politics, I ain't really involved in that, and I don't care too much because all of them just talk. Because that kind of thinking gets the PNM elected every single time. And so, when you leave here, don't keep your motivation to yourself and your activism to yourself. Spread it to your neighbors, spread it to your friends. Make sure people understand that the next election, we are voting for the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Anita Haynes, for that beautiful presentation, most insightful. And I'm sure we can give her another round of applause.